Joch, everybody.
Hey! Y'all doing okay? Should we have a little go round? Check in, everybody? Okay. I have never understood why people ask questions like, do you like cats? All of them? Some cats are terrible. I like the best cats. See, I was once the only biped approved of by a beautiful Russian blue built like a long-tailed bobcat with matching temperament. You'd catch the blue best in moonlight and when he moved really fast. He came to me full grown and I called him Kane, short for hurricane, and he loved to fight dogs and coons and anything, and he was a perfect and terrible monster. I've actually been loved by several monsters and still am, which can be troublesome. But I have learned to never undervalue the love of monsters. You never know when you might need one. Not to mention, it's an even thinner line between monster love and hate, and you don't need to cross it to know that. But good examples. Well, one thing about monster love is nobody hates your enemies for you, like monster love does. Good examples of that are like my high school best friend voted most likely to become a serial killer if he isn't already. And we're still not sure, but even I'm just really not comfortable broaching the subject. Or my ex-wifey, who we still talk, we just can't meet in person. It's cool. But she long distance targets my enemies, or those she considers to be my enemies, with an exquisite hatred. Despite my repeated request that she please stop, with cusses like, may your vile slumlord drop on the spot from nasty sepsis-related illness and be slowly eaten alive by his own putrefying ooze while his children die on Christmas. Right, I agree, that is monstrous. But it's also like some, pre-this world kind of got your back that you can only get from a rare kind of art. And I might as well forgive an enemy if he's got that rated down on him. I'm karma free! Anyhow, Kane the monster cat was kind of like that too. But back to annoying questions. Do you like dogs? No, not just for being dogs. I loved Tona Sue, my pretty roommate at that time's pit bull girl who just wanted to be a good girl. And she knew, which she understood meant not fighting the cat, who would be delighted to fight her, and cared not at all about being good. So it's all on poor Tona Sue. She would just be staring into a corner to avoid conflict. He walked by and just the hell out of her just for being a dog. Until one day she'd had enough of it. She told him so. And he kind of let her alone after that. He was a monster, but he respected self-advocacy. Oh, man. But anyhow, he had already redirected his disdain to a more deserving target. Do you like no-account white boys who are no longer welcome even at home in New Jersey? That was my other roommate, Doug, who I called Dung because he had figured out that as long as he got fired from every job I got for him and couldn't pay the rent, I had to pay it for both of us. I had to find a way. And I was still young and dumb enough to think that keeping him around was my best chance of getting some of that $1,000 I'd already covered him for back. I know now. Anyhow, I don't know how much of that Cain understood, but his disrespect for Dung was evident, which kind of chewed on Dung because the damn cat was just so like regal and luxuriant and just badass. And so me and Cain had this game where like he would always initiate. It was kind of this like interspecies boxing match that he always initiated. He'd jump up on some level with me and be like, "Come on, let's play." And I'd be like, "Oh, and I try to like lightly thump him like between the eyes or you know between the ears or on the back of his back, and he'd try to scratch my hand, which he did more often than not. but always just white scratches, never even a pink scratch. He had such incredible claw control. Like he would only unsheath the very points just to tally up his score. Until the day or the night that Dung came home bad drunk, which was most nights, and decided that he was going to box with Cain, who had never issued him any kind of an invitation to do so. But Dung comes in loud and stinking and just starts smacking my cat friend full in the face, hard, and the cat sat where he was and just looked at this fool, taking hits like, "You what? You think?" And then he raised that paw. Raised the south paw, actually. I was like, "All right, son, we're gonna play a game." I'm like, "Oh hell!" And Dung keeps just smacking this cat, and the cat doesn't move. He doesn't budge, and he's like, "Come on, cat, come on, backs with me." And the cat's just like got his ears flattened back, but so he doesn't have to hear the yelling so much, but his fur's all preened down and calm, and he's just taking these hits and never flinching. I mean, he's getting knocked a little bit, but he's not flinching, and he's not ever twitching that paw, no claw showing. But his golden eyes are wide open, and they're focused intently on a specific point in that striking arc. Not the easy catch where it comes into his reach and he could just clap on and slices, dices, juliennes, fries. But more of this point back here, just out of his assumed retaliation range, where the smack would pause for just a momentary to turn around and come back. This anyhow, I thought so the guy's still smacking the hell out of my cat, and the cat's still taking it, and I'm like, hey, that's too hard. And Cain checks me like this, clearly stating, you stay your ass out of this. He belongs to me now. So I stepped back to witness Dung's fate. I was expecting sort of a Force 10 hurricane landfall, kind of external blender, or good thing we live close to the hospital kind of show. But that is not what happened. Cain sat there, still, eyes intent, and I did not blink. All I saw was an indigo blur, and suddenly, from where he was sat, Cain is standing up on his hind paws there on the counter, all of his fur sticking straight, spiked out like a avenging porcupine of blue-gray fire. And we can plainly see what he'd been so intently zeroed in on all that time. It's the secret dark side acupuncture point deep in the web between thumb and forefinger, because now it is pierced all the way through on Cain's hyperextended pinky claw. It's the only claw not safe at home in its warm bed there in the paw, because clearly stated, Dung had been deemed unworthy of waking the second smallest claw. And the hurricane says, as the two bipeds just stare in disbelief at his surgical incision. At this point, the artfully inflicted systemic nerve pain reached through Dung's case of terrible beer that was drowning his brain. And he reflexively lunged his left hand to try to grab the puncturing paw, but before he could snatch it, Cain revealed the true extent of his complete domination over the sloppy, inferior giant life form by torquing the shish kebab nucleus of this kryptonite nerve cluster, reducing Dung to a electrocuted, helpless, shrieking invertebrate. and going, most Shaolin Bushido Sensei uncontestable butt claim I ever seen in my life. And I've been locked up a lot. And then, as if concerned that his plaything's heart might stop, and preferring to take his time, Cain untorqued back to the holding position of merely great pain, and re-explained Dung's rank in the house with a given back breath and basic muscle control, Dung tried once more to free himself, but Cain was only too happy to repeat it, the lesson. And the man boy learned his place, and not allowed to stand tall or sink to his knees, he struggled on jelly legs to maintain his allowed range and express sufficient obeisance as might like satisfied the small, radiantly blue God dangling him over the abyss. He's totally exhausted, humiliated, humbled, and then beaten. Dung shrieked out to me, "Get your kid, man! You better get your kid!" As if there was some threat that he could back up at this point. But even if I wanted to, even if I was willing to deny my spirit animal his rightfully won Yankee trophy, I could not have helped him, because I myself was helpless, writhing on the floor with abdominal pain from the hardest bawling, laughing fit ever. My head in the dog water bowl, just dumping tears into it for all I spilled out. And poor Tona Sue, the girl dog, is in the farthest far corner, watching the whole thing like this. And at which point, Cain removes his hook with still a little gobbet of spam-colored dung meat, still quivering on there, too shocked to even bleed yet. And he blue lightnings himself up onto the refrigerator, talking all manner of well-backed-up smack as Dung collapses onto his ass and Crab walks backwards, banging his head on the table and knocking over a chair, scrambling over to stumble, crawl, slither down the hall and audibly lock himself into the bathroom. And Tona Sue came over to check on me, and like just happy the whole thing's over, and like grinning up at Cain, offering her congratulations, like and I pulled myself up on the dog and scratched her ears back and gazed up at my indomitable familiar, just so grateful that he's in my corner. And he cat winked those two golden eyes at me, and we just purred. Thanks, y'all.